All right, man, peace. So, brothers, there's a very true slogan that descends from the sport of boxing that tells us that styles make fights. And that's a very true statement. But unfortunately, sometimes the participants in certain sports might get caught up in potential favorable matchups and miss the big picture on what their mindset should be heading into the big contest, especially if you've never won shit. And that brings us to Mr. Damian Lillard, who's really feeling himself right now. He and his team are really feeling themselves because in the first round, he was able to defeat his nemesis, Russell Westbrook. In the second round, they were able to defeat in 7 games a young and up-and-coming Denver Nuggets team. And moreover, they were able to defeat them in Game 7 in Denver. Well, a group of reporters basically asked Dame Lillard, the star point guard of the Portland Trail Blazers, how he's feeling about the potential matchup between his team, the Trail Blazers, and the Golden State Warriors, who've already knocked the Trail Blazers out of the playoffs, I believe, twice. I think it's been twice in the last 4 years or something like that. I know they got them in 2016, and I believe they also got them in either 2017 or 2018. No, it was 2017 because last year they got swept. Last year Portland got swept in the first round. Well, Dame, once again, he's clearly feeling himself. He says that he thinks that the Portland Trail Blazers match up more favorably with the Warriors than they did in the last round with the Nuggets because of the Nuggets having a very prominent front court player in Nikola Jokic. Do I think that that was a strategic error on Dame Lillard's part? Yes, I do. And I think that it's going to come back to bite him. Nothing against Dame, but pump your brakes, brother. I know you're amped. You're in the third round for the first time in your career. You're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but you have to be very careful. Sometimes that light is freedom, it's liberation, and other times that light is a train heading your way. And I believe that Dame Lillard thinks that he and CJ McCollum are going to potentially have the chance to outplay Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. And he should feel that way. He should feel that way. But there's a big difference when you get to that level. There's nothing against those two cats. They're great, but they're not Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Dame and CJ know something that I don't know. So anyway, they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
First up, Trailblazers got past the Nuggets in 7 games, and Damian Lillard thinks the Warriors might be a better matchup for his team. Here's Dame talking about the different matchups yesterday. Let's take a listen.
I think we match up pretty well with them. I think our last series they had guys like Paul Millsap and Jokic. You know, they were huge bodies in the paint. They gave us.
Right, but you just said Paul Millsap. I mean, no disrespect, bruh. Paul Millsap is a nice player. Nikola Jokic is a player who's on the ascent. He's not as good as he's going to be. He's great already, but he's not as good as he's going to be. Right now, you're facing a first ballot Hall of Famer in Steph Curry, a player who right now is arguably one of the top 30 or 25 greatest players of all time. Some people might say, what are you talking about? That's not even an argument when you look at what he's done in his career. 3 world championships, 2 MVPs. Then you have Klay Thompson, who's widely recognized as one of the top 5 two-way players in the NBA. You have Kawhi, you have Jimmy Butler, you have Paul George, and Klay Thompson is somewhere in that mix. Of course, he's after Kawhi, and he's probably after Paul George as well, but Klay is right after that. So you guys have a lot that you have to deal with in the backcourt. If you think that you have better matchups because it's going to be more of a mano-a-mano thing, you against Steph and CJ against Klay Thompson, you better think again, bro. Because the Golden State Warriors are operating at a very high level of basketball IQ and execution on both offense and defense. You have very little to worry about with Jamal Murray, at least in comparison to Steph Curry. Jamal Murray is a very nice young player who's on the upswing, but Steph Curry is a top 3 player in the NBA. A lot of people might not understand that, but he is. So you have a lot that you have to deal with right now. Do not get on camera and start talking stupid.
Gave us a lot of trouble on the glass. They gave us a lot of trouble with their size, and I think with Golden State is much more of a perimeter-oriented team. You know, we know they're going to do a lot of screening and cutting and shooting a lot of threes and stuff like that.
In other words, you think that you're going to light up Steph. Bro, Steph is not even going to be guarding you for the most part. You're going to be guarded by Andre Iguodala or Klay Thompson.
Not really throwing the ball on the block and stuff like that. So I think it's a much better matchup for us as far as personnel.
Yeah, if you say so, brother. A team that's won 3 of the last 4 world championships, and this dude really thinks that they're going to be an easier matchup for his squad than the Denver Nuggets were. And I understand what he seems to be trying to get at when it comes to personnel. What he's basically saying is that the Warriors are not as much of a threat to dump the ball down into the low post and get our team into foul trouble. I get all that. But, bro, this is a whole different level. It's like saying, you know what? I'm good with fighting Muhammad Ali because I don't have to worry about him knocking me out with one punch. Yeah, you don't have to worry about him knocking you out with one punch, but you have to worry about getting hit with 10 punches that you don't see.
So Dame says the Warriors are a better personnel matchup than the Nuggets. BS or real talk? Cards up. Yeah, we're all... Whoa, Momo! What, you're going to 100?
100 too.
Whoa!
Of course it's real talk. Dame believes that. He's not just talking shit. He believes what he's saying.
Whoa, why? 100%.
That is the belief of Damian Lillard right there.
That's what...
Yeah, he should believe that. But you have to be very careful in what you say. Because at the end of the day, and there's no disrespect to the Trailblazers, you've never done anything of consequence in the playoffs until this season. And it's mostly because you were fortunate enough to fall into a very good bracket. Now, I, for one, think that they would have had a very good chance to beat the Rockets had they played them. But I think that they would have had the same dynamic against the Rockets that they had against the Denver Nuggets, except in the reverse. I picked the Trailblazers to beat the Nuggets in 7 games, even if the 7th game was in Denver, because I knew that the Portland Trailblazers had more experience. I would have picked the Rockets to win in 7 games as well against the Portland Trailblazers, even though Game 7 would have been in Portland for the same reason. They have more late playoff experience. So, I mean, there's a lot that goes into who wins certain series.
That's what I was going to say.
Belief.
But that's not reality. That's suspended reality.
No, that's his reality. His reality is that. That is his reality, and I respect that. They're in the Western Conference Finals after getting killed last year in the first round.
Right.
Yeah, after getting blitzkrieged. I would have loved to have seen a rematch against that same Pelicans team, and just to see if the Trailblazers would have done anything different or been better this time around. Because, man, that was an ass whooping. That was crazy how bad the Trailblazers got their asses whooped last year against the Pelicans.
He worked every single day and had that focus, right? Hey, and remember, CJ, I'm trying, Jennifer. I'm with you, right? So look, my thing is this. If that's your belief, and you believe that, 100%. And look, you want to know why they're a better matchup?
Yeah.
Great move.
Because they're playing them. And Denver is at home.
You know what this is? This is Inception, basically.
Oh,
that
whatever.
movie with Leonardo DiCaprio where it makes you believe something, you've planted something into someone's brain. And look, Damian Lillard has been amazing, to your point. Like, there's no doubt, man.
McCollum feeling himself right now. He is feeling himself right now. It's going to be a different level of perimeter defense against the Golden State Warriors.
CJ.
And CJ, look, they've been fantastic. But if Kevin Durant on the Warriors never existed, the Warriors would still be the favorite to win the championship and clearly still be the favorite to win the series.
Not quite sure about that. You might be right. I mean, presumably if the Warriors had played the entire 82-game schedule this season without Kevin Durant, they would have had an adequate replacement. Of course, not an equivalent replacement, but an adequate one. Someone along the lines of a high-level 3-and-D guy. I think that the Warriors would still have been the favorite to win the championship, but it would have been very slim. And with the way in which Milwaukee is playing, even if the Warriors were the preseason favorite, I'm not quite sure if they would have been the favorite heading into the playoffs. But who knows?
Series.
That's fine.
Damian, the question is, do I believe what he is saying? Do I agree with what he is saying is different?
Okay.
Okay, I don't agree. I don't.
Well, I agree that he believes it.
I
Sure.
agree that he believes that.
Right,
and
but it's still...
All Dame is really saying is that this series is going to come down to me and CJ against Steph and Klay. And this is our opportunity to show the world that we're the best backcourt in the world, in the league.
I think
himself going into this fight.
And the reason why it's true is because they are playing them and not the Denver Nuggets, so they're a better team than the Denver Nuggets, and the better team has a better chance of winning.
Poop emoji. All right, Benson.
Okay, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure about Richard Jefferson's train of quote-unquote logic there, but you know what? It is what it is. We'll see how things go in the matchup between the Warriors and the Trailblazers. So peace.